So the parasite is on its eye, Kiki. That's not a hat. That is its only friend. Oh. Roll it. It is Monday, May 18th, 2026. The weekend happened. We were not here for it. The sharks were. Tonight, there are Greenland sharks in the North Atlantic right now that were alive before the invention of the steam engine. They are navigating 4,000 feet of darkness using a parasite that has grown into their cornea. The parasite is not a problem. The parasite is, at this point, load-bearing. Sports. Ronda Rousey submitted Gina Carano in 17 seconds. 17. The commission scored it as a fight. I am scoring it as a Tuesday morning. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has now won back-to-back MVP awards. He is 27. He is also the 14th player in NBA history to do this, which means he has outlasted people who have been doing this longer than he has been alive. I'm Sloan.
And I'm Kiki. Good morning, my sweet little deep-sea creatures.
That is a threat, and I won't accept it.
Okay, so this show has strong language, adult content, satire, and approximately 30 minutes of information about a fish that is older than my country. Watch at your own risk. If you have been feeling unusually old lately, this episode is going to confirm something for you. I love you. Hydrate. We'll get through this.
A Greenland Shark Research Consortium based out of the University of Copenhagen has, this week, confirmed via carbon dating of eye lens proteins that the Greenland shark, the species, not a specific shark, routinely lives past 400 years. The oldest documented individual is estimated at 512. 512. That shark was alive during the reign of Henry VIII. That shark watched the printing press happen. That shark is, structurally, older than the concept of a newspaper.
I think that's such a beautiful gift.
It is not a gift, Kiki. Let me tell you why. The Greenland shark, almost universally, is functionally blind by the time it is 50 years old. The blindness is not from age. The blindness is from a parasite. A copepod called Omatocoida elongata. It attaches to the shark's eyeball. It eats the cornea. It then dangles from the eye for the rest of the shark's life, which, again, is approximately 400 more years. Most of them get the parasite young. So the math, Kiki, is that the shark we are calling 400 years old has been blind for 350 of them. They navigate using the parasite, Kiki. The current scientific hypothesis is that the parasite, by twitching, may attract prey close enough for the shark to grab. The thing that destroyed its eye is also the thing helping it eat. The shark has co-evolved with its own punishment. The sharks grow approximately 1 centimeter per year. They reach sexual maturity at 150, which means the average Greenland shark hits puberty at the age the United States declared independence. Scarpsnow, the lead researcher, was asked at the press conference what the sharks have witnessed. He said, quote, "We are asking the wrong question. The sharks have not witnessed anything. They cannot see. They have been ignored by every event in human history. That is the witness statement. It is not peaceful, Kiki. It is the most accurate description of being alive that I have ever heard a Norwegian scientist give about a fish. The flesh of the Greenland shark, by the way, is toxic. Eating it raw paralyzes you. The Icelandic preparation, called hakarl, requires the meat to be buried in gravel and fermented for 3 to 4 months, then dried for another 4, then eaten by people who are, presumably, very committed to a bit. A fishing industry is killing, every year, 3,000 creatures that have been alive since before the country buying the halibut existed. And the creatures are being thrown overboard because they are not the right kind of fish. We have invented a level of disposal where you cannot even respect what you accidentally caught. The shark that was alive during Shakespeare is now in a net. The shark in the net is unwanted. The shark in the net is 270 years old. That is the actual fucking story.
I think the fishermen didn't mean to.
They didn't. That is also the story. We will continue to monitor the centuries.
And speaking of athletes who have peaked across multiple eras, Aubrey Joe's in the garage with sports.
Kiki, I am not 400 years old, and I have not been peaking across multiple eras. I have been peaking once, and I am not even sure when that was.
Go.
Going! Alright, we got a shitload to get through, and the first one is genuinely fucking embarrassing for everyone involved. Ronda Rousey beat Gina Carano in 17 seconds. 17! The fight was billed as a joint MMA comeback. They sold tickets. They had a card. They had a goddamn poster. The poster is, structurally, longer than the fight was. Ronda hit her with the signature armbar in 17 seconds. That is not a comeback. That is a customer service interaction. That is a woman returning a sweater. Ronda walked in, said her piece, got a refund, and left. The promoters are calling it a statement. The statement was, I do not have time for this shit. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, back-to-back MVP, 14th player in NBA history to do it. He is 27 goddamn years old. The other 13 guys are LeBron, Jordan, Steph, Giannis, Magic, Bird, Kareem, Wilt, Russell, Moses Malone, Steve Nash, and a couple I am not going to name because I do not want to start a fight in the comments. The man dropped 32 points a night in the playoffs, and the Thunder are still playing. Oklahoma City is having a sports moment, and I do not know what to do with it because Oklahoma City is not supposed to be good at things. Napoleon Solo won the goddamn Preakness at Laurel Park by 1.25 lengths over Iron Honor. A horse named Napoleon Solo. That is two names in one. The horse is, structurally, a movie reference. The horse won. MotoGP, Catalunya Grand Prix. Alex Marquez and Johan Zarco both crashed in separate incidents. Both went to the hospital. Same race, different crashes. Both ambulanced. The Catalunya circuit had a 2-for-1 going on Sunday, and nobody asked for it. All right, now for the main event. Yesterday afternoon on the gravel lot behind the Holstead County VFW, the inaugural Heartland Carry the Ladder Invitational took place in front of approximately 32 spectators, 4 off-duty paramedics, and a beagle that I am beginning to suspect is the same beagle. You carry a wooden extension ladder, 28 feet, by yourself, around the course of orange traffic cones. The cones are, per the rule sheet, Gerald's. That is what is written on the rule sheet. Gerald's cones. I did not invent that. I am moving on. Margaret won! Margaret! 8 consecutive grassroots events. 8! She carried the ladder in 3 minutes 41 seconds. She is 63 years old. She carried a 28-foot ladder through 7 goddamn cones in a sundress. The fountain pen guy, per a bystander, added a column. A column, Kiki! He has a column for her now. Derek was there. He stared at Margaret's ladder for 91 seconds. I asked him what his strategy was. He said, quote, the ladder is heavier than it looks. That is the only honest thing anyone has ever said about a ladder. Margaret's ladder is, per the registrar, her own ladder, brought from home. She keeps an extension ladder at her house. 63 years old, has an extension ladder for events that did not exist last year. Anyway, sports.
Gerald's cones.
He's contributing.
He is, somehow, sponsoring a ladder race.
He has 1 cone at his house. 1! The ticker said so. The other 6 came from somewhere. There is a 6-cone gap.
Gerald is on a journey.
We have another story. The shark thing, again. Sort of. A different angle.
Oh, I love when you go back to the shark, Sloan. So, following from segment 1, there's a really interesting layer to the Greenland shark story that I want to talk about. The shark, as Sloan said, has been ignored by every event in human history. But the question I have been sitting with is, what does it mean to be alive that long and not be a witness? There is a documentary that came out last year, Norwegian production. It followed a research vessel for 18 months. They tagged 7 Greenland sharks, and the lead biologist says something I cannot stop thinking about. She says, quote, "If you are alive for 400 years and you cannot see, the only memory you have is movement. You are a creature of currents. You are not a creature of events." She goes on. She says, "Humans organize their lives around events. We mark our age by them. The shark does not. The shark's age is just the accumulated weight of moving through water. 400 years of water. That's the whole life." The other thing the biologist says is that the sharks, when they encounter the tagging equipment, do not react the way other sharks do. There is no curiosity. There is no fear. The Greenland shark has no relationship to novelty. She thinks it is because when you have been alive that long, blind, in cold water, there is no such thing as new. Everything is just more water. The biologist said the conservation argument for these sharks is hard to make to the public because they cannot be marketed. They are not majestic. They are not photogenic. They have a parasite hanging out of their face. They are, in her words, quote, "not the kind of creature that wins."
A 270-year-old creature that has done nothing but move through cold water its entire life cannot be saved because its face is not symmetrical enough for marketing. We have built a conservation economy where the species that gets a campaign is the species that photographs well. The shark we have known longest, the one that has been here longest, has been alive the longest of any vertebrate on the planet, gets no campaign, because the parasite eating its eye does not test well in focus groups. We have a species that has been alive for 4 centuries, blind, with a parasite for a guide, moving through dark water, and the most accurate thing a Norwegian scientist could say about it was that it is not a creature of events. And the second most accurate thing she could say was that we are letting it die because it is not photogenic. Those are the 2 sentences. That is the story. The shark has been quietly disqualified from being saved because the camera does not love it.
Sloan,
Yes,
I think you sound a little inspired right now.
I am not inspired. I am tired.
A little inspired.
Hey, so today the country is doing a thing where every major city is having a different crisis, and I want to walk you through it. Denver is at 39 degrees with light rain, fog, and 100% humidity, with 54-mile-per-hour winds. Denver is having an emotional crisis. The atmosphere is, structurally, crying. The wind is the part where it tells you about it. Los Angeles and Chicago are both at 46-mile-per-hour winds, but LA is at 70 degrees, and Chicago is at 77. 2 cities, same wind. One is a beach day with hair issues. The other is pretending it is July when it is not. Chicago has gotten ahead of itself. Miami and New York are both at 86 degrees. Miami is cloudy and chill. New York is just aggressively 86, with 17-mile-per-hour winds. New York is being 86 at you. Seattle, somehow, is at 57 and partly cloudy. Seattle has, this week, found the Goldilocks zone. Seattle is winning. I have never said that sentence about Seattle in my entire life. Last week, a lawsuit against the IRS. And I'm going to be careful with the order of facts here, because the order matters. A lawsuit against the IRS was settled out of court for $1.7 billion. The settlement was signed, on the government side, by appointees of the same administration that filed the lawsuit. The judge who was investigating the matter was investigating actively. The settlement was filed approximately 72 hours after the judge began asking specific questions. The dismissal was filed with prejudice. With prejudice means the case cannot be reopened. The judge will not get to finish asking. The case is over. The case is over, and we paid for it. I keep going back to the shape of it. This one is not behind a deletion. This one is not behind a ban. This one is right there. In the filings. In the docket. The court records are sortable. The amount is in the document. The signatures are in the document. The dates are in the document. And the news cycle on this one has lasted approximately 11 hours. Oh, fuck. I have a note on the corkboard from last week that says, "The easy ones." I am moving it again. I am moving the pink note half an inch closer. I have a pen out. I am not writing on it yet. I am close. There is something I want to say about the difference between things being hidden and things being right there. I have been almost saying it for 5 weeks now. I'm going to sit on it for one more. Forecast. Denver gets sympathy. Seattle gets a quiet win. Miami stays chill. New York stays loud. And the wind is, again, conspicuously the same in 3 different cities. The sky has been notified. Back to you, I think.
Thanks, Blaze.
Wait, the judge was investigating and they settled to make him stop?
That is the structure of it.
For $1.7 billion?
It is.
We are not running it through the desk a second time. We have one more story about an axolotl.
Okay, so researchers at the Max Planck Institute confirmed this week, and this is real, that the axolotl, the little Mexican salamander with the gills that look like a feather boa, can regrow its own brain. Its own brain! Pieces of it, functional pieces, with memory retained. They removed a portion of the axolotl's telencephalon, the part that handles memory and decision-making, and the axolotl grew it back, within 90 days. The axolotl could still recognize a maze it had been trained on before the surgery. The brain remembered things the brain had not been in the body for.
That is not a salamander, Kiki. That is science fiction.
She is 2.5 inches long. She has gills like a tiny pink crown. She regrew part of her brain in 3 months. She is now back doing the maze. And she is faster, Sloan. She is faster at the maze now than she was before the brain regeneration.
The salamander improved while her brain was missing.
She had time to think about it. The lead researcher, Dr. Klaus Reichelt, said something at the press conference that I want to read because it landed on me. He said, quote, "The axolotl does not know it is a miracle. The axolotl thinks it is normal to grow back. We are the ones who think it is unusual."
The axolotl thinks it is normal to grow back. The axolotl is, by the way, critically endangered in the wild. Their native habitat, Lake Xochimilco in Mexico City, has been reduced to approximately 3% of its original size due to urban development. The salamander that can regrow its own brain is being killed by people building parking lots. Kiki.
She has a workshop.
The salamander does not have a workshop.
Welcome to Fuck Back to Candle Blowers. This week I am dedicating the segment to Maribel the axolotl, who regrew her own brain and got faster at the maze, which is genuinely the most goddamn inspirational thing I have heard all month. We got 3 big ones this week. 2 of them are loud and 1 of them throws footballs. Let's go. May 19th, JoJo Siwa turns 23. JoJo Siwa, the girl who built an empire on glitter and giant bows, turns 23, and she has been famous since she was 9. 9! The math is appalling. She has been doing this for 14 years. She has been doing this longer than I have been driving a car. She has a perfume, she has a TV show, she has had 5 different aesthetic eras. She is somehow still 23. We have been watching her grow up on the internet for nearly 15 goddamn years, and she is, on paper, still younger than most of the bartenders I know. Happy birthday, JoJo. You have outlasted entire industries. May 21st, Josh Allen turns 30. 30 years old. The Bills quarterback. The man who throws the football the way a normal person throws a frisbee at a child who isn't paying attention. The arm. 6'5", 238 pounds, has a documented habit of trucking linebackers on purpose. He just signed an extension last year that pays him approximately $73,000 per snap. Per snap, whether he throws it or not. He could stand there and stare at the ground and still make twice my mortgage. I respect him. I resent him. Both can be true. Happy birthday, Josh. May 22nd, Emma Chamberlain turns 25. The original YouTube vlogger. The girl who made coffee a personality before Sabrina Carpenter made coffee a song. Emma built a coffee company. She has a podcast. She walks at cans. She has been famous since she was 16. I want to flag for the record that we have just covered 3 celebrities, JoJo, Emma, and Josh, who have all been professionally famous since their teens. 3 out of 3. The pattern is showing up again. The kids, Kiki, the kids have been doing the work. We did this last week. We are doing it again. They have been doing it. They are tired. That's the candles. Happy birthday to all you weirdos. Drink some water. Call your grandmother if you have one. Mine still picks up the phone on the first ring like a goddamn dispatcher. Oh, Travis, his birthday's in November. I am still writing it down, in pen, multiple places. I have it in the planner, on the corkboard, and on a post-it on my monitor. I am not gonna let it sneak up on me. Last year, yeah, not this year. Anyway, that's the candles.
Okay, welcome back to the viewer mailbag, my favorite weekly tradition. Sweet friends, we are still waiting for our very first viewer question. I have been told some of you are watching. I have been told some of you are typing. The questions are on their way.
It has been 6 episodes.
Comment on the video, you cowards! Ask me about anything! Ask me about Maribel! Ask me about the axolotl maze!
If you have noticed something about the easy ones, about the filings, about the things that are right there, write to me. I am this week very close to labeling the pink note.
Send us anything, my cuties, anything at all. We will read it next time, with our full attention.
That was a Monday.
A really thoughtful Monday.
I cannot stop thinking about the shark! The shark with the parasite as its compass. The shark has a parasite GPS. The shark has a friend that is also its problem. That is a Sloan sentence. I just made a Sloan sentence.
The shark navigating by parasite is actually a really good metaphor for several things.
Blaze tied the shark to several things.
It all connects, sweetie.
I know it does, Kiki. That is what is concerning about it.
Okay, before we wrap, like and subscribe in the bell thing. Subscribe, hit the bell. Tell the one person in your life who has been alive long enough to feel like a Greenland shark. They will appreciate the validation. Share this with somebody who has been blind to events for centuries. Send it to your dad.
She said it in her own way.
That's the show. That is a Monday show. I am going home. I am going to attempt to do a maze faster than yesterday like Maribel. I will not. Maribel is built different. Have a Tuesday.
I will be back tomorrow. The pink note will be closer. If you've noticed anything that is right there, you know where to find me. Outside, with a pen.
Take such good care of yourselves out there, my cuties. Don't be a creature of events. Be a creature of currents. See you tomorrow. I promise I will see you tomorrow.
The shark was alive while Newton was alive. It did not know. It did not have to. That is the part I am sitting with. Good night. The planner is still on the desk. Nobody read it. That is, somehow worse.